Hi everyone, this is Emma at the Cake Mistress, and today we'll be making a gingerbread centrepiece for Christmas. First we make the gingerbread dough by whisking all the ingredients together. Now the full recipe and step-by-step guide is on the Cake Mistress website, linked below, so don't worry if you miss anything. So far we've mixed butter, brown sugar and eggs together. Next we whisk in some honey or golden syrup. Just scrape down the sides of the bowl there and whisk it all together until creamy. And don't forget to scrape down the sides of the bowl every now and then. Next add the spices, salt and bicarb and the flour. Stir that in until a firm dough forms. Use a wooden spoon, don't try to make your machine work really hard and do that unless you've got a dough hook on a stand mixer. Now tip it out from the bowl and gently knead it together by hand. Don't overwork it, just make sure it comes together. And next split the dough into two balls. Cover each with some plastic wrap and flatten them down to make a disc of dough. And then just pop them in the fridge to set for at least 20 minutes. So I've just taken that out of the fridge. While that's in there you can preheat your oven to 170 Celsius, which is 300 Fahrenheit, I believe. Take the dough from the fridge and cover your workbench with flour before rolling out the dough. Now you'll want to roll it out to about 3 to 5 millimeters thick. Just like that. So next place a Christmas tree stencil over the dough and cut out the shape. Now I have a printable template for this tree that you can download on the Cake Mistress as well. It's on the recipe link. So just make sure when you trace out the pattern you do it onto some firm cardboard. You'll need five of these tree branches all together. So just keep rolling out the dough and repeating and cutting them out until you've got 5. Okay, I'm just cutting them out with a relatively sharp knife. My knives aren't sharp in my house, I cut myself too easily, my poor fingers. No chef knives here. Okay, just neatening up the edges and removing the dough and pop it onto a baking tray that is lined with some baking paper. I found a spatula helped me pick up the dough there, and we have to be really gentle because it can break. And you're also going to need 2 stars. These are going to be the top of the tree. Going to bake them up as well. Let's remove all the dough. Gone in the oven. There it is. It's a nice golden brown piece of gingerbread. Now if the long side of your gingerbread has bent out of shape while it's still warm, cut it back straight. It's really important. If it's not straight, your Christmas tree is not going to hold together when you glue it with icing sugar. Now I had some edible gold paint left over from another project, so I painted the Christmas tree stars on one side and then set them aside to dry. Now I've got this from Sweet Sticks Paint in Glamorous Gold, which I can link to below. It is an Australian company, but I believe you can buy it online and they'll ship to you. So I'll link that down the bottom as well if you'd like. And paint up those and put them aside. Now while your gingerbread is cooling, you can also prepare the serving board, which is just a round, I think I chose a 23 centimeter round cake board. I've rolled out some fondant to a bit bigger, 25 centimeters, and then put some sugar, let's say sugar syrup, a sticky syrup made from apricot jam and boiling water together to help it stick. Lifted it up and then as gently as I could dropped it onto the board. I press that down and then cut out any sort of leftover fondant with a pizza cutter. Just like so. Smooth the edges down and then put your cake board aside to dry. That fondant will harden up in the air, so don't worry about that. So next you need to make the royal icing for decorating the tree. You need icing sugar, egg whites and some lemon juice or almond essence. Add a few drops of green food colouring and whisk them together until smooth. The icing should form some ribbons, as you can see, that melt back into the mixture in about 8 seconds. That's quite a good consistency. Fill a piping bag with the icing, and when the gingerbread pieces are completely cool, pipe a line of icing around the edges, but not that inside edge. Fill the inside of the tree with some wavy icing branches. Next, you can sprinkle your favourite sprinkles over the icing immediately while it's still wet. So I like using a mix of jimmies and dots, but you can use cashews, I believe they're called, and some edible silver glitter, and with some white icing for a snow effect. Now decorate all 5 branches this way and set them aside to dry completely before you flip them over and decorate the other side just like that. Make sure everything has set before you do anything. Learn the hard way. Now when everything is dry, you're ready to put the tree together. Definitely find yourself a second pair of helping hands to help you, because I tried to do it by myself because I'm stubborn and I had a really bad time. It was very frustrating, so I started again with my mum there in the background after I realised halfway through the process she changes her t-shirt. Continuity. Anyway. Spot it. It's coming up. So line the long edge with some, I'm still laughing, line the long edge with some icing sugar. She put her pajamas on. She's gonna kill me. Line the long edge with some of the icing sugar and stick it together. Make sure those 2 pieces dry as much as you can, and then fill in the joins with some icing sugar. Once they can support themselves, then add more and more pieces. You've got one in the back, almost like a stand, and then these 2 at the front at 45-degree angles. I'm trying not to laugh. At 45-degree angles. And then at each join, as you can see there, put more icing in there, just more and more icing. You want this thing to stick together. And lastly, add a little bit more icing on the top and pop your gold star on top of your tree. There it is, it just fell off camera there. There it is, one put together Christmas tree ornament that you can pop on the middle of your festive holiday Christmas table.